part of every, all right, buzzers we no longer need, no buzzers, forget it. You will now engage in head-to-head tune naming combat. So if you guys are all familiar with the old classic Name That Tune show, it's a little bit like that. So there's no buzzers. We will flip a coin to decide who will go first. We'll get to that in a second. So here's what's happening. You guys are going to bid back and forth to try to outdo the others to how quickly you can name a song, right? So starting at 10 seconds, contestants will bid back and forth to see who is willing to name that tune in the shortest amount of time. No, hang on, I have something better. I have this coin that came with the Skyrim Collector's Edition, but we'll get to that. Anyways, starting at 10 seconds, contestants will bid back and forth to see who is willing to name that tune in the shortest amount of time. You can reduce the time in half-second increments down to a half-second.
Or more than that. Or you can reduce it by more than a half second.
If a contestant doesn't think they can name that song in less time, then they may challenge the opponent to name that tune. If the person challenged can guess the tune, then they get a point. If not, the point goes to their opponent. The first to 5 wins. And I'll mention the wood rule. You must be able to name a tune in order to win. Does that make sense? It makes more sense once we start doing it. All right. Get that out of here. So, Mr. JRPG will be heads. Count Metal will be dragons. Heads and dragons.
Yeah.
Seems appropriate. Yeah. That is dragons. All right, so Count Metal, you can start the bidding. How fast do you think you name this tune? Starting in 10 seconds.
We do it 7 seconds.
7 seconds, Mr. JRPG.
6 seconds.
6 seconds.
5 seconds.
5 seconds.
3 seconds.
3 seconds.
2 seconds.
2 seconds.
1.5.
1.5 seconds is Mr. JRPG. It's okay, there's a lot of final round to play. You don't have to prove yourself the first one, guys. Yeah.
1.25.
No, half-second increments. You go 1 or...
You have to do 1 second or less.
Yeah.
If you do.
Or you can either go to 1 second or a half second, or you can challenge him to name that tune in 1.5 seconds.
Challenge.
Challenge. All right, so if Mr. JRPG can name that tune in 1.5 seconds, he will get the point. If not, it will go to Count Metal. And we do try to pair these up according to relative difficulty. That's always a hard thing to do because people play different things, but we try.
So we'll give, what, 2 times, 3 times to play it?
A couple times, 2 times, 1.5 seconds.
All right. Mega Man 3.
Is that Mega Man 3? It's not Mega Man 3. Do you know what it is, Count Metal? You don't have to know.
You get a point either way, but if you know it, it's props.
It's always cool.
I'll guess Mega Man 5.
No, audience. Mega Man 4. So that is 1 point to Count Metal, and the bidding starts with Mr. JRPG.
8 seconds.
8 seconds.
7.5.
7.5.
6.5.
6.5.
5.
5.
4.
4.
3.5.
3.5.
2.5.
2.5.
1.5.
1.5. All right. 1.5 seconds to Count Metal. Try to name that tune if you can. Gets a point. If not, goes to Mr. JRPG. 1.5 seconds.
It does take me a moment to get these right.
Yeah, he's got to do some trimming.
Y'all are crazy.
1.5 seconds.
All right, we can play it. Well, hang on, we can play it one more time.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
It's not Sonic the Hedgehog 2, audience.
Sonic and Knuckles.
Sonic and Knuckles.
And Knuckles.
Yeah, 1-1. It'll be 1-1. But the bidding will start with Count Metal.
I'll name that song in 9 seconds.
9 seconds.
7 seconds.
7 seconds.
6.5.
6.5.
6.
6.
5.5.
5.5.
3.5.
3.5.
2.
2 seconds.
1.
1 second. Challenge 1 second to Mr. JRPG.
I'm gonna guess it. Super Battletoads?
No. It's audience.
Crypt of the Necro Dancer.
The Necro Dancer. Another point to Count Metal. All right. The bidding starts with Mr. JRPG. 7 seconds, says Mr. JRPG.
6.5.
6.5, says Count Metal. 5.
4.5.
4.5. 4.
3.5.
3.5. 3.
2.5.
2.5. 1.5.
Challenge.
1.5. So Mr. JRPG. You know it?
The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild!
I love your guys' reaction for like 1.5 seconds. I guess that's how most of us gals feel, right?
All right, so. Oh, Jesus. 1 point.
10 seconds.
3 seconds. That's Mr. JRPG.
2.5.
2.5. 2.
1.5.
1.5. All right, 1.5 seconds to Count Metal. I got Mr. JRPG's immediately like, 10 seconds. No, 3. 3.
Here you go.
That's awesome. Play one more time.
One more time. I'll say Final Fantasy.
No.
No, audience?
Dark Souls.
What was that?
Dark Souls.
Dark Souls, right, yes. Right. Dark Souls. Dark Souls, yeah, it's Marley's right. Yeah, it's Marley's right. I'm just like really sensitive about not being all right. So, we're at 3-2, and the bidding starts with you, Mr. JRPG. 5.
4.5.
4.5. 3.5.
2.
2. 1.5.
Challenge.
Challenge, 1.5 seconds, Mr. JRPG.
I'm guessing Splatoon 1.
No, it's not Splatoon 1. Any ideas?
I'm gonna guess Splatoon 2.
No, it's not Splatoon 2. Audience.
Wave Rider.
It's Beautiful Joe! So, where's that place at? So I think we're at 3-3, right? 3-3? Tina? You have one shot. All right, 3-3. The bidding starts. Count Metal.
9 seconds.
9 seconds. 7 seconds.
6.5.
6.5. 5.5.
4.
4. 3.5.
2.
2. 1.5.
Challenge.
Challenge, 1.5 seconds. Mr. JRPG. Some tough ones in the final round this year.
All right. 1.5 seconds. Yeah, one more time. I'm gonna guess Castlevania Bloodlines.
Golden Axe.
Golden Axe. Point to Count Metal. All right, so Count Metal has 4 points. This could be a game point for Count Metal if he can name a tune here. Mr. JRPG, we start the bidding with you though.
Okay, let's just go with
2
2.
seconds.
Challenge.
Challenge. All right. Yeah, let's just be clear here. So, 2 seconds for Mr. JRPG. If he can guess it, he gets a point. That's awesome. Good job. If he can't guess it, if he doesn't know what it is, and Count Metal does, then Count Metal will win the game. But if Count Metal doesn't know it, you won't win the game. You don't get a point if you don't know it. It's the wood rule. Wood rule. Gotta know it. All All right, so
All right. 2 seconds.
One more time. I believe that's Final Fantasy V.
no.
Actraiser.
Actraiser,